All right, so listen up. Do you live in a complex? Do you live in a flat? Do you live in any form of community scheme? Okay, so now to resolve or adjudicate any complaints lodged regarding community schemes, these include, as I mentioned, townhouses, flats, complexes, and homeowners associations. The Department of Human Settlements has now established a new independent body, and that's the Community Schemes Ombud Service. This will also ensure that affordable justice is available to address community schemes disputes and avoid high costs of legal fees. Well, to tell us about the Community Schemes Ombud Service, we are joined by its CEO, Themba Mthethwa. Good to have you, Themba. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Okay, so we've now got a Community Schemes Ombud Service. What has been the law in terms of regulating community schemes before something like this?
There has never been any such laws to an extent that the courts has always been the place where to resolve disputes. So the government, through the Department of Human Settlement, saw it fit to establish an ombud who will adjudicate on this kind through the adjudicator general on any complaints without resorting to courts and to speedily resolve the cases. And also the interesting thing is that in such instances there is no appeal. There is only an appeal to the High Court, where the adjudicator general may have mislooked the question of law only, not the matter of fact, to speed up the process and finish the matters as quickly as we can.
Okay, so how is this new ombudsman going to work?
The new ombudsman will be all over the country. We have already established the national office and the Gauteng office. We have appointed provincial ombuds in the Western Cape, in KwaZulu-Natal, and in Gauteng. Gauteng will cover for Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and Northwest. KwaZulu-Natal, Free State. The one in the Western Cape will do the Eastern Cape and the Northern Cape. So we already have a footprint in almost all the provinces. But the Ministry of Human Settlement still have to launch the service formally, and the President still has to announce the commencement date of the Act.
Now, the reality is when you're living in these kind of environments, where you're living in a townhouse or a flat or an estate or whichever kind of, a community scheme that this falls under, it's very difficult to maintain relationships when things get difficult. And unless, of course, you have the money to go to court to fight an issue, these things often remain unresolved.
Of course.
How is the Ombud going to try and engage in these relationships and the unhappiness that results out of this? Because that is perhaps one of the most difficult things. Because, sometimes you literally are sitting in your dining room and you're looking into your neighbor's kitchen and you're thinking, I can't deal with these people anymore. It is that, you are that close to one another. It's that difficult.
It is true. I think that's why the government intervened to create a real community, a good relationships. The mandate of CSOS is not only to adjudicate, but to educate the community about the rules of living together, the respect of the common areas within the community. So there will be a lot of education to the residents, to the trustees, the body corporates, and the members of the homeowners association to create this kind of relationships. And also the community, the body corporate, the schemes to have an internal mechanism to resolve dispute before they even come to us.
Yes. Will this have an impact at all on the independent body of the Rental Housing Act of 1999? Is it going to have an impact at all?
It won't have an impact. It has its own mandate. We have our own. Us is more about to adjudicate within those schemes, the homeowners associations, the body corporates, the villages for retired people, the share block schemes, and within the corporates. Those that we're looking at. So but it doesn't mean that a person who rents in a complex or within the body corporate cannot come to us if he has a legitimate complaint.
So what kind of disputes are you looking at? I mean, anything from the fact that my neighbor's dog is barking and they won't do anything about it to they illegally are building a wall on a boundary, or things like that. Is that the extent of those issues you'll look at?
Yes, it is. We're a creature of statutes, so we cannot have powers beyond those given to us by the CSOS Act of 2011. One of the most critical things, they list about 7 of those. One is behavioral issues relating to the animals, to the dogs, to the noise. One is financials as well. If one of the complainants have issues with the finances of the body corporate or homeowners, as well the meetings, if there are issues about the meetings, the body corporate or homeowners are not having regular meetings. So it lists almost a number of things that we feel. I think there are 7 of them.
Yeah. Housing estates, I imagine, fall under this as
well.
The
housing estates falls under the golf estates in particular as well.
Golfing estates, housing estates, all of these things, equestrian estates. Well, there you have it. A very interesting thing. I mean, usually it was just the body corporate and thereafter it was to court you would have to go. But now there is an ombud that gets involved and hopefully saving you a lot of stress and money by taking this issue to court. So after all has been said and done, you try to resolve it amongst yourselves, then the body corporate, then the ombud, and if all else fails, you have to go to court.
Exactly.
And that's the way things go. Good luck. We hope it goes well. Thank you very, very much.
We're still going to be inviting you for the launch when the minister is ready.
Excellent. We look forward to it. There's a website. You can go and have a look at it, www.csos.org.za. You can get all the details there. The CEO of the Community Schemes Ombud Service, Themba Mthethwa. Thank you very much for joining us here on the program.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's take a break.